at number 19, Matthew Barzal. Both of us have watched boxing in our day, and there was a time where you'd hear this particular boxer is the best fighter pound for pound. Pound for pound, I've never met anyone more confident than Matthew Barzal.
Well, he should be confident. He's a really, really good player.
Yes.
And you think about all the stuff that he does really well. One, he stays healthy. He's able to play every game, contribute every game. And when you're a good player, what you want is the puck. You want you to have the puck. You want your team to have the puck. And Matt Barzal, although he plays in a very defensive system and probably doesn't have the kind of elite offensive numbers that he could have in a different system, he's willing to, dial that back a little bit for the betterment of his team. But he provides such a unique element to his game that the Islanders need. They don't really have what anyone else. And that's the ability to transport the puck up the ice, out of his own end, and in the offensive zone. You look at his zone exits and zone entries. Second and fourth. He carries it out, and he carries it in. And we know you're about 2 times as likely to get a scoring chance if you're able to carry in the zone as opposed to dumping it and chasing it down. And this is what his elite level skating can do, because you can try to take an angle. He's faster. You try to take him straight on, he'll dance around you. He'll take you wide. He just has an ability to get the puck out of his own end down to the offensive zone. And then once he has it there, he also hangs on it for a long time and makes good plays with it. It's unique to his ability to skate, and it's unique to the New York Islanders. They have nobody else like him, and that's really why he's on this list.
When Johnny says faster, remember All-Star Weekend? Connor McDavid, not faster than that guy. Holidays are coming, so much sensitivity about weight, putting on weight. When this guy was drafted, Elias Pettersson, number 16, they said, he's going to have to put on weight to be effective at this level. Phooey! Johnny's amazing!
Yeah, he's an incredible player. One of my favorite players to watch. I mean, that's saying something, that he can excite someone who watches games every single night. And you think about what he's so good at. He's just so shifty with the puck. And he entered the NHL with a whole lot of confidence, saying, you know what, this is who I am, this is how I'm going to play. And you watch guys fool around the puck, so you're like, what's the point? Like, yeah, you can do keep-ups and kick it around, but how does that really translate into a game? Well, it does. And I watch him play, and he's got great hand-eye, the stick skills. He can stick handle it on a string, and he puts these things, he's just knocking it down, putting it flat, and then putting it upstairs. He's really gifted with the puck in tight spaces. A lot of guys, listen, I could do that when no one's around me. Well, not that, but I can do some things. But what he can do in tight spaces is even more impressive. And one thing I've come to notice is that you're right. He's light, but man, can he sling it.
Yes.
And where he likes to go is short side shelf. And this has got to be getting around to the goalies union right now. I'll help you out. He sees that spot all the time, either side. He's got the patience, head up, and he can elevate it quickly with velocity. And it's a shot we see him, whether it's a wrist shot, whether it's a snap shot, whether it's a one-timer. He spots that short side. Goalies come across. They go down. He goes up. And it is a real weapon of his. And he can score from outside the hash marks, kind of almost by the top of the circle, especially with a one-timer. And maybe the biggest surprise of what he brought to the NHL is that being as thin as he was and is, and as light as he is, that he can still shoot the puck that well. But short side shelf, especially on the power play, something to watch out for. His numbers have been very consistent through both seasons. Called the trophy winner in year 1. Fantastic. Good in the playoff once again. Elias Pettersson is the #1 centerman that the Canucks have been looking for a really long time. And he's going to be really good and on this list for a really long time.
Johnny talking about how good he was and is on the power play. Those numbers speak to that without a doubt. We reach out to our contacts in the league. So I reach out to Darren Pang about Ryan O'Reilly. So much to admire. What he's done in the playoffs, basically point a night the last 2 years. Panga wrote back like War and Peace. Here's the gist of it. His work ethic is total repetition nonstop. We see that hard work pays off.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, he's a star player with a workmanlike attitude. And you see him at practice. He's the first one out there, last one on the ice, doing kind of stick handling drills and puck drills, trying to get better. But he's also really well known for his defensive game. And he has what we like to call in hockey a heavy stick. And so how active he is with it, and you see all the different times he's trying to dislodge the puck, bother you with his stick checking. Yes, he's strong physically, but if you can lead with the stick, then it makes the rest of the defensive game better. Even when you miss, you're right back in, and you're able to get there. And when he gets there, Tone, and it's a stick battle, he wins them way more often than when he loses. He just has that kind of intuitive strength to his game. I love the timing on this one. Wait for the puck to get towards you. Don't chase a puck that you can't get off Nazem Kadri. Patience, and then the decision to go when it's time to go. The other part is, as a winger, I love a centerman who prides himself on winning faceoffs, because you can watch him in these highlights. It matters to him. Like, he digs in. He bears down, which means his team gets to start with the puck, which means he doesn't have to check, and I don't have to chase if I miss winger, which I love both those things. One of the best in the league. He takes a ton of draws every single year. So we know the offensive game is there despite the crazy weird curve on his stick, but it's all the other stuff that he does beyond point production that makes him so valuable and such a good player and on this list year after year after year. So points are good, but it's everything else he does that makes him special.
What I love about hockey players is that they don't care about stats. I mean that. They just want their name on Lord Stanley's Cup. As we look at where we are on the countdown, we've arrived at number 12 to celebrate the greatness of Mark Scheifele. His captain, Blake Wheeler, after he went down in Game 1 of the postseason, Wheeler himself recited the record. A few years ago when they went all the way to the conference final, he said Scheifele had 11 goals on the road. And I looked it up. No one's ever done that before. Not Gretzky, not anyone. That guy's special.
He is, and it's been a slow build for Mark Scheifele. You know, he didn't jump right in the NHL as soon as he was drafted, and he didn't become the go-to guy right away. And he's prided himself on kind of the slow and steady growth and maturation of his game. The talent was always going to be there. You could see it from junior on to the NHL, but he cares a lot about playing away from the puck. He's trying to get it better in that regard. He is a hockey fan, nerd. Like, he watches a lot. He studies the rest of the league. He knows what's going on, because anything that he can do that gets him an edge, he's going to try to do to make himself as good as he can be. One more area where I really like what Mark Scheifele does is that he plays in the middle on the power play, and his just sense of space and timing in the middle of that diming, it's not as easy as he makes it look. And whether he's going to be a shot threat, a pass threat, or even a diversion, he just knows what to do, when to do. Now, that's a pretty slick zone entry by Mark Scheifele, but then he sets up a pick for Kyle Connor. Just little plays, little smart plays throughout the offensive zone on the power play that result in goal after goal for a very talented Jets power play group. It's just fun to watch. And really shoot it when he wants to. He can interchange there with Laine. He can go to a one-time spot. But generally speaking, he's in the middle. And you watch him head on a swivel, sliding around traffic, finding the open space, and then making a good offensive play. He's really one of the better players in the NHL at it, and helps him pile up the points. And also, never be a minus player. Say what you want about plus minus. We know it's not that important a stat anymore, but it's something the players do care about. And he sees that run there, and he likes being on it. When he went down the playoffs, you knew that the Jets were going to be in tough, because he's as important of a player as they have, that not named Connor Hellebuck.
And I also noticed that over the last 4 years, a point a game. That's
not easy to do.
Brilliance. No. I don't want to be indelicate here, but the guy at number 10, it took a pandemic to slow him down. Our sensitivity to the whole world and everything that we've had to deal with in 2020, before the pause, 23 goals in his last 22 games played. This guy belongs on Broadway.
He was almost going to take that rocket down if he played a few more weeks. And I said DJ Zebad, Mika Zibanejad, who DJs in his spare time, is rolling out the tracks. But he was on a great run, and he has been now for a couple years. But what I like about Mika Zibanejad is that, Tony, what you don't realize when you watch him play is that he's a big, heavy dude. He's 215 and change. He can absolutely hum it with his shot, and he's going to be able to score goals for a long time. Now, I don't want to burst his bubble. He did shoot about 20% last year, 12% in his career, so that probably will slow down a little bit. But a guy who plays in the defensive zone, produces points, did not play with Panarin for most of the year, played his own line, so it wasn't a strength of Panarin, all that goal production of his. He's really just elevated and has emerged as the number one guy for New York. And I don't know if he gets hotter than we saw him this past year, but that was pretty darn hot.
So hot that he was atop that list. It was left to right, dazzling. Last 11 seasons, the guy's finished in the top 5 in the Selke. What more do we need to say? Please say more. I love celebrating him.
There's two parts to being a great centerman, right? It's when you have the puck, when your team has the puck, you make it easier for your line mates what to do with the puck. When the other team has it, you make it harder for them. And that's what Patrice Bergeron does so well. Now, making it hard for the opposition, a lot of guys do that. But making it easy for your teammates is not quite as odd. Look, so here he is presenting a target for a pass, but understands where to go with it right away, recognizing when I got to step up, I know where my open guy is. He is reading the play several steps ahead all the time and making it easy for his teammates.
Perfection.
And so takes the time, understanding who's available, where they're at, and where I can move a puck. It's a 4-on-3. Everyone's going to shoot this puck except for Chris Bergeron. He knows where his guys are. And just offering up options. Always about options. Spot a Kate. Now I'm going to slide in, look for a tip from Torrey Krug, get my stick available, puts it right where he needs it, makes a nice play. First he's a pass option, then he's a tip option. He's just making the right reads. And if you're a teammate, you're like, okay, I know he's going to be there. He understands everything that's going on in the game. Late in a period, okay, where can I go with this puck? A lot of different ways. Okay, I got to get this down to the far post somehow. How do I get down to the far post? I know I got numbers over there. Oh, yeah, right onto the stick, rebound, Marchand. He just gets it. He understands everything about how to play hockey for himself and for his teammates. And that's what makes him such a great line mate, a great player, and really a great winner.
Since Austin got into the league, only one player has more goals. His name is Ovechkin.
Right.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, Austin Matthews is proven to be one of the best 5-on-5 goal scorers we have seen in years and decades. That's how good he is. But what I like about Austin Matthews is that he's a big body, but there's a different way for him to be physical. And he's physical with his stick. That's where he does a lot of his best work. Not just with his shot, but his ability to check, to get loose, to win puck battles, to get the puck in the back of the net. He does it all with his stick. He doesn't run you over, but he just kind of works his body into a spot where he can use his stick. And his stick is as good as anybody in the league. And that's how he plays. He doesn't worry about checking a guy or running through him. He's worried about the puck. That's what he wants. That's what he's going to go and get back. And it's a different kind of style, but it's fine because it works really well for him. He understands how to use it. He's not looking to pad his hit totals. He's looking to pad his win totals. And that's where his game is. You can't ask him to do anything more than that. His defensive side of the puck has gotten better as he's gone along. That long stick with his ability to read the play and his offensive instincts on the defensive side of the puck, he's become a pretty good defensive player. But what sets him apart, of course, is, find that stick in the offensive zone and really, really good things would happen. He just has a release that is modern age great. He understands everything about the technology of his stick, kick points, stiffnesses, all those different things, and you see the results speak for themselves only behind Ovi in the last few seasons. 158 goals as his numbers are starting to climb historically. He's just been great. Couple that with the fact that he plays in Toronto. Huge market, a ton of pressure as one of the faces of that franchise. And he got that big contract, and nobody said boo about it. He has outperformed his contract, done exactly what he's supposed to do. No one says, yeah, but No. He does everything you expect him to do, exactly how you expect him to do it. The contract's not even a point of discussion anymore. All he does is score, produce, and help Toronto win. And he's only going to get better. He's going to win a Rocket. He was really close last year. He's going to get one eventually, maybe next year.
He has been exceeding expectations since night one. The ultimate accompaniment when I'm watching him be amazing when league MVP Art Ross
what do you got over there?
Is eating gummies. You talk about him because he's special.
You got the gummies. I'll go with the Draisaitl tape because Leon Draisaitl has fully emerged out of the shadow of Connor McDavid, which is a pretty large shadow to get out of, and into his own great hockey player standing. He didn't play with Connor McDavid, so that myth that he can't do without Connor McDavid 5-on-5, that no longer applies. He didn't play with Connor McDavid very much. He actually was the better of the two for 5-on-5 for the last stretch of the season.
The numbers
when he was playing with Yamamoto and Nugent Hopkins. And what he can do on the ice, 5-on-5, 5-on-4 is amazing. I also love the fact that he uses one of the biggest paddles.
Truly.
Super long paddle.
Truly.
Like an oar that he uses out there on the backhand. And he's able to manipulate the plays, make so many good backhand plays. And almost topped Kucherov's great year from a couple of years ago in points per game. A lot of that was aided by the power play, which is cornerstone around Draisaitl and McDavid. And the fact is, it's not just through McDavid. It goes through Draisaitl just as much as Connor McDavid. He has that kind of game, finish, and ability to pass and set it up. There's nothing that he can't do. So I think it's really big strides for him, stepping out of the shadows. Now, in talking about his year, he did have a bit of a down month in December. Defensively, having trouble talking to you right now as you're just gorging yourself on those gummies. But
German gummies,
but once he got set in that second line, first line, Nugent Hopkins and Yamamoto, his game took off once again. And the myth that he's not good defensively kind of went away in the second half of last year.
As
you look
it
at
should.
his underlying numbers were way stronger. Scoring chances against, goals against, shots against, all went to very respectable levels with the offense not taking a hit at all. So Leon Draisaitl, they were hoping that they could find someone to play in behind Connor McDavid. They didn't just find someone.
A combination of raw speed and just the remarkable skill set that is Nathan MacKinnon, the strength. The last time I saw Gallup that pretty, Secretariat, 73, Triple Crown winner. Johnny, all kidding aside, the way he plays is so spectacular to watch. What makes him so good?
Well, I mean, you look at the physical tools, of course, the speed and the strength and the way he's able to combine that with the hands and the vision to become one of the best offensive players. But what he did in the playoffs this past year, something we just don't see, where he was that good, that consistent, seemingly every single time out there. And you want to talk about the speed? Okay, I'm going to chase you. Sorry, Braden Chen, I'm going to see you later. I'm going to go in alone. And you just can't catch him. So just straight up speed. You got good defensive positioning if you want to pick Jets. No, you don't. He leaves them in the dust on a chain. 3 guys just waving at him on his way in. That kind of speed. And I love his crossover game. He can really maintain and accelerate while turning. Doing all this tone with the quick hands and quick release. But the other part that makes him unique. See him skating through Travis Hamonic there?
Yes.
Big physical defender. He just skates right through your check. You want to put a body on him. See you later. You want to slash me. You're going to break the stick, not mine. And then the skill to go finish it. It's just, we know guys can skate fast. And maybe there are a couple guys who might be able to skate as fast as him, but they're not as strong. And they go through the traffic. And then I love his release. And that he's able to kind of, without looking, without chewing it up too much, in the context of the stick handle, just pull and release.
Special.
And maybe the miles per hour are not quite as fast as some, but how quickly he gets it away and how precise and accurate he is with the shot, that's how he scores a lot of his goals. And the other part, which I know his teammates love, the coaches love, and the opponents hate, is he's got a little edge to him. You know, when you move that fast, you're going to run into people, and you carry some force. And he's getting a fight. He'll hit some guys, and he has really pushed himself up now, 3 years in a row, into being in the conversation of the best player in the world.
Wow.
It's not a fluke. It's not an aberration. He has established himself firmly in that conversation with the very best of it. He hasn't won it all yet in the playoffs, but certainly on a very good team the last couple of years. He just is seemingly unstoppable when he's on top of his game.
Since he came into the league, he's been exactly as advertised.
How's that possible, though?
That's what I'm asking you.
We talked about him for 5 years before he got to the NHL.
When he was a child, we knew of him.
And there's no way he can step in and be as good as we thought.
Amazing.
And yet he's been better.
Yes.
It's just been incredible. And we know he's faster than anyone who's ever played. He's faster than anyone who has ever played.
Unreal.
The combination of his speed, his hands, and maybe most importantly his mind.
Wow.
That they're all able to operate at that crazy speed. Now, we just know the straight-out raw speed. You get caught on a change and a turnover, and you are sunk. He's just going to skate right past you. Tony, we don't get to do this in the NHL. That's what we do when we're 10 years old. I skate better than you. I'm going to skate past you and score. You don't do this in the best league in the world. But that's what he does. Now, what he also does really well is that he skates through stick checks, but avoids body checks because of his lateral movement. Because he's able to go side to side so fast. Where's he going to go here? There's no room at all. He goes through this without even being touched.
Oh, my goodness.
And it's the change of direction while maintaining the speed. That's what he does better than anyone else. That's what he does better than anyone ever. And he just has such a gift for offensive hockey. We know how great he is. Exploding off a standing still at a corner. You think you're in a good defensive positioning?
Oh, my goodness.
You're Riley Smith. You're a good defensive player. You're right where you're supposed to be. But he's going to beat you to the spot where he needs to beat you to. And then on the power play, the Edmonton Oilers have one of the best power plays in the league in the last 40 years, really, in large part because of the Draisaitl and McDavid. And they know what to take, whether it's the shot or a pass, the vision, to set up his teammates for slick plays like that. And to be able to think all these different opportunities and options and have his hands and mind do it all at the same time, it is just unlike anything we've ever seen before. He's the new age player. He was trained that way since he was a kid, and he stepped in the league. And how are you doing right now? First or second in the league in scoring every single year. That's including some years with some injuries involved there as well. So he's on a nice run 4 years in a row of piling up the points atop this list again and deserves to be there. He is, by a good margin, the best offensive player in the world.
It is remarkable when you're talking about him that you say the last 40 years ever. Truly, the generational talent he was hyped to be.
He is on that level already. Yeah. And he's just getting started. He's not even halfway through his career.
Definitely.
And the numbers he put up and the way it's not supposed to be that easy. You're not supposed to step into the NHL, create offense the way that he has, make players look like he does, but he can. And even though there's other players that produce a lot of points and similar number of points, different kind of way that they do it, nobody does it quite like Connor McDavid.